Welcome back to Media Rumble. I'm Chris, and this is the Star Wars Senate. With Rebels Season 3 debuting last weekend, I thought I would go at the big question on everybody's mind. Are we going to see a dark side to the Rebels? And how will this affect the show as a whole? Now, this does have spoilers up to the end of Season 3 Episode 1, so if you haven't seen that far, make sure you come back later. Rebels as a show is ultimately the tale of Ezra Bridger. It may have the rise of the rebellion in there, but much like the Star Wars episodes, it's someone's life story. When we originally meet Ezra Bridger, he's this quick-witted street urchin, but as the seasons move on, we get to see him mature into this powerful Jedi. And this is something that I feel is reflected in the tone of the show. And much like Ezra, it seems to be taking a dark turn. One of the main focuses of this season seems to be Ezra's relationship with the Force, and whether he's going to stay in the path to the light side or ultimately fall to the dark side of the Force. Now, the faltering of Ezra's faith in the light side of the Force is not some subtle breadcrumb that you might miss if you weren't paying attention. It's very much out there. After all said and done with Season 2, Ezra has a Sith holocron hidden in his bunk. And this goes against everything his master's been teaching him. And it starts to lean towards Darth Maul being Ezra's master. Now, we've seen this at the end of Season 2, where Maul uses Ezra's own personality against him. And he does this by giving Ezra the freedom to make his own decisions in life. And this is something that he's never really been able to do under the tyrannical reign of the Empire. And the ultimate draw to Ezra is the promise that he can save his friends. And if there's one thing we know that can turn a good Jedi bad, it's the presence of emotion. Now, you might think that purging emotion is a terrible idea, but from what we've seen from Ezra is that any time he's emotional, he makes mistakes. And by removing emotion from this equation and looking at a situation logically, the Jedi are able to calculate the best solution for everyone involved. But Sith artifacts, like the Sith holocron that Ezra has in his bunk, bring temptation into the mix. And the person might think that opening the Sith holocron is not going to cause any harm. But this naivety is something which can ultimately lead to the dark side of the Force. Once they open it and find out what's inside, they start to crave the knowledge that it holds and the powers that it can give them. Now, it could have been a pretty straightforward journey for Ezra. It could have snowballed straight towards him just immediately joining the Sith, much like Anakin. Yet they show Ezra's realisation that his actions have consequences for others. And by doing as he's done, he's putting others in danger, and not only himself. And he begins to see that they may help in the short run, but ultimately this confidence is wildly misplaced, and it's not going to work all the time. So we can see that he's not been blinded by the dark side of the Force yet, and he doesn't have the holocron anymore. Everything's great, and normal service has resumed. Or has it? The Force, like other things, isn't just black or white. There's a grey, and this grey manifests itself as the Bendu, a creature who claims to be impartial in a never-ending war between the light side and the dark side, virtually sitting on the fence in the battle to see who's the best. Now, anyone who's actually sat on a fence knows that all it needs is one little push, and then that's you falling off onto one side. And I think that we have already seen this push. When Kanan left the Sith holocron with the Bendu, leaving a powerful artifact like that with someone who has no real notion to use it seems like a logical decision. But could that innocent, almost casual moment be the downfall of the crew of the Ghost? I honestly do believe that this will be the downfall of the crew, and I believe that this will come in the form of the death of the captain Hera Syndulla, whether it's directly or indirectly because of something that the Bendu has done. So why her? Why not Kanan? He is the one that gave the Bendu the holocron after all. It's simple. Hera is the pillar which holds up the Ghost crew. She's the mother figure that they all turn to when they need reassurance, and we know that she'll return to her home planet of Ryloth and possibly tying up any loose ends that she has. And ultimately, she is the person that Kanan cares about the most. The death of Hera would completely break Kanan, and we've already seen him to be very shaken this season, and I believe that her death will also cause a giant rift between Ezra and Kanan, possibly leading Ezra to blame Kanan for Hera's death. And this is where Thrawn comes in. When the team is broken up, it's not really a cohesive unit. This is when he will strike. So what do you think they'll do with Rebels this season? Do you think they'll head in a darker route? Comment down below with your own theories and let me know, and I'll be sure to check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend liking the video and subscribing to the channel, where you can see a lot more videos like this. And speaking of videos like this, you should check out the video here where I discuss everything that's come up in the recent Rogue One trailer. And you should also check out this video where I talk about how Deathstroke is the perfect villain for the new Batman movie. And as always, thanks for watching. May the Force be with you.